Welcome back to Soil Stories, where we dig beneath the surface and let the soil tell the truth. Today I want to talk to you friend to friend, gardener to gardener, about something that looks harmless, even helpful, but can quietly wreck your garden if used the wrong way. Wood ash. That pale gray powder from the fireplace or burn pile has been praised for generations as free fertilizer. I believed it too. Many of us did. But what I learned over years of watching plants struggle, soils harden, and harvests shrink, is this: wood ash is not a gentle helper. Used carelessly, it's a silent garden destroyer. This isn't fear-mongering, it's experience, and by the end of this story you'll know exactly when wood ash helps, when it hurts, and how to protect your soil for the long run. Wood ash earned its good reputation honestly. It contains potassium, calcium, and trace minerals that plants need. Long before bagged fertilizers existed, farmers recycled ash from cooking fires back into the soil. In acidic soils especially, ash could boost yields quickly. That history matters, but what worked occasionally in small doses has been misunderstood as a more is better solution. The problem is that modern gardening often ignores soil balance. We add things because we heard they're good, not because the soil asked for them. Wood ash is powerful, and powerful things demand respect. The biggest danger of wood ash is, honestly, its ability to raise soil pH fast. Ash is highly alkaline. When you sprinkle it freely, you're not feeding the soil, you're, chemically changing it. Many garden plants, including tomatoes, peppers, carrots, beans, and most leafy greens, prefer slightly acidic to neutral soil. When ash pushes the pH too high, nutrients lock up. This is where gardeners get confused. You fertilize, you water, the plants still look sick, leaves yellow, growth stalls. You add more inputs thinking the soil is hungry. In reality, the nutrients are there, but the roots can't access them anymore. I've seen gardens collapse in one season simply because ash was applied repeatedly without testing. Once soil becomes too alkaline, fixing it takes time, patience, and organic matter. There is no quick reversal. Wood ash is loaded with calcium. Calcium is essential, yes, but too much creates imbalance. Excess calcium competes with magnesium and potassium in the soil. This imbalance leads to poor root development, weak stems, and reduced fruiting. Plants may look green but fail to produce. In my early years, I used ash to strengthen tomatoes. Instead, I ended up with tall plants, few flowers, and disappointing harvests. The soil had plenty of calcium already. I just didn't know it. Healthy soil isn't about adding everything, it's about balance. Wood ash ignores balance unless you apply it intentionally. Here's something few people talk about. Wood ash can actually harm soil biology. Beneficial microbes, fungi, and earthworms, they really thrive in stable, moderate conditions. But a sudden spike in alkalinity, well, it shocks them. If you keep applying ash over and over, it reduces microbial diversity, and honestly, that just makes your soil a lot less resilient over time. Soil life, that's what turns organic matter into plant food. When that life suffers, the soil gets compacted, it becomes less absorbent, and a whole lot harder to manage. You might notice water running off instead of soaking in, or maybe your beds start crusting over after a rain. These are signs that the soil system is starting to break down. At Soil Stories, we always say, feed the soil first, the plants second. Wood ash, though, it skips right over that rule. Another surprise many gardeners face is weeds thriving where crops struggle. That's not coincidence. Many common weeds love alkaline conditions. When ash raises the pH, weeds often respond faster than vegetables. Suddenly the bed looks green, but it's not the plants you planted doing well. I've seen ash-treated beds turn into perfect homes for aggressive weeds while onions and greens barely survive. That's not fertility, that's imbalance announcing itself loudly. Some plants are especially sensitive to ash. Potatoes are a classic example. Ash increases the risk of potato scab, a disease that ruins tubers underground even when the plant above looks fine. Blueberries, strawberries, and other acid-loving plants can be permanently damaged by even small amounts of ash. Root crops in general really struggle when soil chemistry swings too far. Misshapen carrots, bitter radishes, and poor beet development often trace back to alkaline stress rather than just a nutrient deficiency. If you've ever wondered why your soil used to work and doesn't anymore, well, wood ash might actually be part of the story. Wood ash isn't evil, it's just, honestly, misunderstood. Used correctly, it can still be useful. The key is intention. Ash belongs in acidic soils that have been tested and confirmed to need pH correction. It belongs in compost piles in very small amounts, where microbes and organic matter can buffer its strength. And it belongs far away from seedlings, roots, and sensitive crops. Alright, so, never apply ash fresh around plants, never apply it year after year in the same bed, and never treat it like compost. It's a soil amendment, not organic matter. The safest approach, honestly, is to think of wood ash like lime. You wouldn't throw lime around casually, right? Ash deserves the same caution. If your goal is better harvests, stronger plants, and resilient soil, organic matter will always outperform ash. Compost, leaf mold, well-rotted manure, and mulches. They build soil without shocking it. They feed microbes, improve structure, and release nutrients slowly. When potassium is needed, natural sources like composted plant material or targeted organic fertilizers are far safer. When calcium is needed, gypsum often works without changing pH drastically. The solution depends on the soil, not the habit. Gardening improves when we listen more and add less. I want to be honest with you. I learned this lesson the hard way. I trusted tradition more than observation. I added ash because it was free and praised. The soil responded by shutting down. It took seasons of composting, mulching, and restraint to bring life back. That experience changed how I garden and, well, why Soil Stories exists. Soil remembers everything we do to it. Every shortcut leaves a mark. Every thoughtful choice builds something lasting. So, wood ash is not a general fertilizer, it's not compost, and well, it's definitely not something to sprinkle just because. If you use it blindly, it destroys balance, locks nutrients, harms soil life, and, honestly, reduces harvests. But, if you use it carefully, rarely and intentionally, it can help specific soils with very specific needs. Your garden doesn't need more inputs. What it really needs is better understanding. If this story saved you from a mistake you were about to make, or maybe explained a problem you've been struggling with, then the soil has done its job speaking through this channel. Subscribe to Soil Stories for more real-world gardening truths. Share this with a fellow gardener who still believes ash is harmless, and keep growing with intention. The soil is always listening, and now, so are you.